Namaste. Namaste and welcome to this short practice which is designed for strengthening the whole body but mostly focused around the core. And it's a special recording for one of my one-to-one students. So we're going to start just by coming to standing on your mat. You can rest your arms down by your side or hold them together at the center of your chest if you like. Close your eyes for a moment. And just have that sense of stepping into your yoga space. Stepping away from the other things going on in your life. Giving yourself this time for your practice, for a sense of nurturing, compassion for self. And in this case, lots of strengthening too. And just taking a couple of deep breaths. Tuning in with the breath. And then when you're ready, you can gently take your chin towards your chest. If you've got your hands together at the center of the chest, just relaxing them down, feeling that stretch down the, or length down the back of the neck and over the shoulder blades. And then rolling your right ear towards your right shoulder, chin to chest, and left ear to left shoulder. Just going a little side to side. Going as slowly as feels comfortable. And focusing on those connections between the movements of the head and the neck and the sensations into the jaw, the back of the neck, the sides of the neck, the shoulders and chest. If you want to, you can make circles with your head, just making sure that that feels okay for your neck. Most people are probably going to feel okay if they don't take their head too far back. But if you're aware that this neck movement doesn't suit you, you can choose something else. And when you're ready, returning to center, just rolling the shoulders a little. Just beginning to get a sense of releasing or self-massage, actually. That's what these shoulder rolls feel like to me anyway. And the opposite way too. And then we're going to move a little bit more dynamically. So stepping the feet further apart, a little softness in the knees, weight into the heels of the feet as well as the toes. We tend to be a little forward, so make sure you're sitting back too. Firmness in the belly muscles and gently twisting from side to side. And as you do, feel that gentle effort across the abdomen. We don't want to be gripping so hard that we can't breathe or we can't move properly. But perhaps you can feel the resistance, the contraction down one side of the oblique muscles and the length down the opposite side, or resistance down the opposite side. So the oblique muscles are the ones that go either side of the abdomen, down the sides of the body. You don't need to know the names of the muscles. You can focus on the sensations in your body. Let your arms be nice and heavy and loose. Let your head follow the movement. And just feel in your feet as well what's happening in your buttocks, in your thighs, what's supporting, what's helping. The natural, innate, instinctive strength of the body. And if you want to, you can pivot on your toes, allowing that twisting sensation to come into the hips a little bit more. And it's a great way to relieve some postural tensions through your body. and connect us to that center space. Although when we talk about the core in yoga, it's pretty much everything from the shoulders to the knees, and anything that you feel is active for support. Whenever you're ready, you can float your feet back to the floor and just allow the body to lose its momentum a little bit at a time, returning to center. Excuse me. So here in the center, softening the knees again, taking the weight into the heels again, just feeling that center of balance. A touch of lift through the pelvic floor and the abdominal muscles. And we're going to start with a soft left elbow and make circles with the elbow. So you'll notice that your torso is inclined to move, but perhaps you want to start with yourself more still in the body and the movement coming more from the shoulder. But as soon as you're ready, you can incorporate the movement of the head and the torso and perhaps a little bit in the hips, almost stabilizing through the legs and the belly muscles and the pelvic floor and the buttocks, and going the opposite way as well. So as we move with the movement of the shoulder, we do a little side bending, a little forward bending, a little back bending, a little twisting, all 6 movements of the spine. Just allowing your head to move as well, keeps your neck from feeling stuck or stiff. There we are. Let's relax that arm down. Feel the difference between the 2 sides of the body. One side will feel really alive and vibrant, and the other side will feel steady and stable. Let's work the opposite side. Soft in the right elbow. You can start making your circles without really moving much in the torso. And if you choose to do that, you can feel the resistance to that movement. It's more natural for most people to move as the arm moves as well. It's the connections we've got in our bodies. It's really hard for us to move just one body part because everything is so interconnected with our bones and joints and muscles and fascia and organs and skin. A little firmness in the belly, the buttocks, the pelvic floor. And when you're ready, you can reverse that rotation. And just perhaps notice something different on this side, the weight as it is distributed between the 2 feet. Or perhaps notice how it feels in one part of your body as you move in this way. We'll do just one more. And releasing the arms down to the sides. And hopefully that has left you feeling really vibrant across the shoulders. We're going to do just a little back and forward bending here in our standing position. I'm turning sideways so you can see. You've got your feet pointing ahead of you, soft in the knees, and bringing the palms of the hands together. Inhaling here. As you exhale, tucking the tailbone under, reaching the hands away from you, chin to chest, scoop the belly in. And as you inhale, draw your elbows open, stick your tailbone out behind you, lift your chin, turn your palms open as the arms reach back behind you. And then exhaling, rounding through the spine, chin to chest, tucking under. Inhaling, opening through the chest, arms open, palms open. Exhaling, like a standing cat-cow. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling. Let's do just one more. Exhaling. Inhaling, open. And then from here, standing tall, floating the arms down to the side, just giving the shoulders a little bit of a wriggle, wriggling into the hips if you need to. And we're going to come down onto the mat to do a little bit of limbering there as well. So coming onto your mat in any way that feels comfortable to you, just rolling yourself down. We're going to start with the feet on the floor and the knees bent up and the arms resting out to the sides. And take a moment to allow yourself to arrive in this space and just feel the different connection, the different support between the body and the floor. And then here, bending the knees into the chest, but not holding onto them. We want to encourage that effort in the abdominal muscles. We're going to move the knees around in a circle, going in the same direction. So here, a little bit of effort through the abdominal muscles. The knees are apart. It allows the pelvis to operate a little bit more naturally than it does when the knees are together. And going the opposite way as well. Feeling that massaging effect on the back of the body, but also that natural recruitment of the abdominal muscles as you move. And then here in the center, taking the knees in opposite directions, maybe allowing the legs to move a little bit more. Still a little firmness here across the belly, the arms nice and relaxed, the back of the head perhaps gently engaging a little bit more down into the floor. Helps to relax those muscles at the back of the neck. And then going in the opposite direction. The straighter your legs get, the more challenging this is, but there's no need to make it challenging at this stage. So just doing something that feels comfortable, feels vibrant, feels supported. And then when you're ready, you can bring your legs back to the center and just with your hands on your knees, easing the knees into the chest a little, perhaps just a touch, and then releasing a couple of times. You can exhale as you draw the knees in if you would like to coordinate with your breath, and inhale away, and maybe one more time, and inhale away. Then float the feet down to the floor one at a time, 1 and 2. I've put my hair up, but that was obviously a mistake, so I'm going to take it down and reach the arms out to the side again. Here, a gentle sway of the knees from one side to the other, but very good control across the abdominal muscles to help support that movement. So we don't want to grip really hard. We don't want to suck our bellies in as much as we can. Just want to feel enough engagement that the legs feel supported, the back feels supported in this movement. And we're not trying to get into a twist here. It's just a little sway. When you're ready, you can come back to the center. Maybe just bring your feet a little closer to your buttocks, unless you can get them all the way there. So if you're very able to get your feet towards your buttocks, you want a little bit of space. But for those of you who had your feet further away towards the buttocks, a little bit more stable. Elbows down by the sides of the body with the palms facing each other across the body, robot hands. And you can have your toes pointing out if that feels better for your knees, for your hips. Here, we're going to do some bridge pose. So pressing the shoulders down and the shoulder blades and the upper arms. Feel maybe a slight hollowing underneath the heart, between the shoulder blades themselves. Gently engage the back of the head down, not quite as firmly, and then pressing into the heels, peeling the hips up and the chest towards the chin, and gently releasing down. Again, a little touch of firmness across the belly muscles. When you come down, re-engage. So re-engage the shoulders, the shoulder blades, the upper arms, the back of the head, the heels of the feet, and then peeling up and down. If you want to, you can keep that engagement, keep going up and down, just gently, slowly, with good control. If you want to, you can float the hips to the floor, but not quite touch, and then press up again. And if you want to be sure that you're using the heels of the feet and the buttocks, you can take your toes off the floor, which is quite good. We'll do maybe 2 more of these. And then resting the hips down to the floor, relax the arms, gently sway the knees from side to side, just a touch of effort. And you can take your feet a little bit further away from your hips if that makes the movement feel more comfortable, more easing, more releasing. When you're ready, coming back to the center, moving your feet to adjust if you need to for a bridge pose. We're going to adopt the same position of the arms close to the body, elbows bent, hands facing. Rolling the shoulders, shoulder blades, upper arms, and gently pressing down with the back of the head. And then pressing into the feet to come up. And here, you can bring your feet a little bit closer towards each other if you'd like to. We're going to stay up in the bridge pose and march. So bringing the right knee back towards the body and then pressing that foot into the floor, re-establishing the lift through the buttocks and lifting the left knee back towards the body. So a marching bridge going from side to side, focusing on that lift in the back of the body, the support all the way from the back of the head, through the shoulders, backs of the arms, into the buttocks, into the heel of the foot that stays down. I'm just going a little bit side to side. And you can do as many as feels comfortable. We'll maybe do one more to each side just now. But if you wanted to do more, you can do more. If you do fewer, that's fine too. And then very gently releasing all the way down. Relaxing the arms away from the body. Taking the feet a little further from the buttocks, a little wider apart. And swaying the knees from side to side. And see if you can release that sense of effort in the low back, in the buttocks, in the hips, and wherever else you have it. So if you have effort in the back of your neck, you can sway your head from side to side as well. You don't have to do it at the same time as your knees, but if you'd like to for efficiency, you can, of course. And then when you're ready, you can bring yourself back to center, gather yourself back in for our final bridge variation, which is a reaching bridge. So if you haven't done one of these before, perhaps just watching. Starting in the same base position, gently engaging the back of the head, firmly engaging the back of the arms and shoulder blades, firmly engaging the heels of the feet and lifting the buttocks up. And when you lift up, reaching your right arm over your head to the left side and then back to the center. Keep the hips up, reach the left arm over to the right and back to center. Be sure to press into your heel as you move away from it. Keeping a firmness in the belly and the buttocks. And gently going from side to side. We'll maybe do one more to each side. We started with the right arm. And then coming back to center, realigning and gently releasing all the way down, relaxing the arms, maybe moving the feet slightly further apart and just settling that space between the shoulders. I'm going to wrap my arms over my body, so I'm doing left over right first. It doesn't matter which one you do first. And let the weight of the arms settle that space between the shoulder blades to the floor. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Now here you can leave your hands here if you want to. If you prefer, you can bring the backs of the hands or the palms of the hands towards each other to bring yourself into an eagle arms position. And then firming the low back into the mat, firming the heels into the mat, and gently lifting your head and chest up. And if you want to here, you can make circles with your elbows, circling and massaging that space between the upper back, in the upper back between the shoulder blades. And circling in the opposite direction as well. Engaging quite firmly in the belly muscles here. And then coming back to center, gently releasing down, releasing the hands and taking note, left arm over right arm here. Perhaps it's right over left for you. Reaching the arms wide and gently waving the nose from side to side. Just a gentle sway of the head. And then in the center, perhaps with the feet in a different position from how they were naturally falling for you. A little firmness in the belly and swaying the knees from side to side. But this time we're going to aim to get a little deeper with that sway. The next time your knees come down to the left, allow them to rest there. Reach the right arm up past the right side of the head, if that feels comfortable for the elbow, the wrist, the shoulder. They can stay out to the side if you prefer. And just encouraging the inner right thigh, inner right foot towards the floor. We might come back to this at the end of the class, but those who do classes regularly will know that there's another option here as well. But we don't want to overstretch at the beginning of this strength building class. So when you're ready, right arm down to the right side and gently drawing the knees back to the center. I'm going to wrap my right arm over my left arm, over the chest, and just spend a couple of deep breaths in and out, settling the space at the back of the neck and the space between the shoulder blades. And then if you want to, bringing the palms of the hands or backs of the hands towards each other, you can leave your hands where they were, that's fine too. Press your low back down into the mat, press into the heels, firm the belly, draw the head and chest up, and then just circling, a gentle circle. It doesn't matter how big or small your circle is. Try to keep the space at the front of the throat open. We're not trying to close down or strain there. And then the opposite rotation. A little firmness in the belly. And then releasing down, relaxing the arms, letting the arms drift apart. Maybe take a moment to sway the nose from side to side, just to release any tension from the neck. And then swaying your knees, so activating those belly muscles, swaying the knees a little deeper, side to side. And then the next time your knees come down to the right, allow them to rest there. If you want to, you can reach the left arm up past the left side of the head, making sure the shoulder, elbow, wrist are relaxed onto the floor, and pressing the inner left thigh and inner left foot towards the mat. Just a little. So a deep breath in and a deep breath out. When you're ready to release, the left arm can come to the left. A little firmness in the belly to bring the knees back to the center, and then hug your knees towards you. Make any movements that feel good. So a little massage with the low back might be just the ticket right now. And then we're going to gently bring our head towards our knees and rock backwards and forwards through the length of the spine. So massaging from shoulders to sit bones. And if you want to, you can come up and hold, balancing at the top of your movement, and then rolling back and coming up to balance again. And it's quite nice to take a slightly different balance every time. Really good training for our core to adapt. And then when you're ready, you can gather yourself in and just spend a moment sitting tall, allowing the body to absorb all the information you've given it so far, allowing your nervous system to absorb as well, and your body to adjust to being in this new position. And if you need to, like me, you can put your hair up. And then here, we're going to reach the arms up over the head. And you can do this cross-legged. If cross-legs isn't comfortable, you can sit with your feet supported on the floor, just reaching as if you were holding a beach ball And you can start with a little sway from side to side, but then eventually we're going to move in a circle. So this is nice to do with the feet firmly planted on the floor. It has less demand for the low back. But at the same time, we do want to support with the belly muscles. And you can go in the opposite direction as well. And you can just as easily do this in your cross-legged position as well. Different areas for support. And feel free to let your knees move and your buttocks move. And then coming back to the center, just relaxing the arms down. We're going to stretch the right foot out to the right and keep the left leg bent up. Do figure of eights with the arms. So reaching the arms wide, turn the back of the left hand forward, and then reach the back of the left hand towards the right leg. And you can soften your knee as much as you need to. Reaching up, placing the left hand behind you, pressing firmly into that left hand, lifting the hips, reaching the right arm all the way up and over and back down. Figure of eights with the arms. So we'll do 2 more in this direction. These baby world things, really good opportunity to recruit those muscles at the back of the body for support and stability. And just holding your baby wild thing, taking a moment to really press firmly down into the left shin, the left hand, feeling the lift underneath that side of the body, the openness down the right side as well. And then releasing down. We're going to fold the left foot in, the right foot in, turn to the left, place the left hand down and turn into a little squatted position. And here, our first one, we're going to come up to downward dog. So unpeeling the legs and gently taking the heels alternately to the floor, lifting in the belly muscles, keeping a softness in the elbows so that we really feel the strength of the arms and hands and shoulders working, not just dumping into one joint. If you would like to, you can release the neck by turning the head from side to side, nice and gentle. And then floating your knees all the way down to the floor. You're going to take the knees wide and the hands wide and make circles around the knees with the hips. So circling the hips. Again, a little softness in the elbows so that we recruit the strength of the arms, the chest, the upper back, the shoulders, and circling in the opposite direction as well. And coming back to the center, just bringing the knees a little closer towards you and your hands a little closer towards each other if you like. You can keep them wide if you would prefer. So here we are going to press the center of the back upwards, tuck the tailbone under, look back towards the knees, and just bring the right knee to the right elbow and then back. We're not touching the knee down. Right knee towards right elbow and return. Scoop the belly muscles in, right knee to right elbow and return. Right knee to right elbow and return. Now, if you want to, you can bring the right foot towards the right hand, or you can stick with just doing the elbow, knee to elbow, and return. Foot to hand if you can, and return. Pressing the back upwards, scooping the belly in, and just one more. And return. Very nice. Then in the center, making any movements that feel good, perhaps a little cat-cow for those who would like to, or a little wiggle. And we will do a waving vinyasa. So a baby one to begin with. Hands a little bit further forwards. Knees stay on the floor, dropping the hips towards the heels. And then looking back towards your feet, round through the spine, pressing off the toes, scooping the belly in, moving the shoulders forward. When the shoulders come over the hands, opening the chest to look forward as if you were dragging your elbows and hands back, looking up and then pressing back, lifting through the belly muscles to come back via hands and knees into your crouched position. And then one more time, pressing off the feet, rounding through the spine, looking back towards the knees until the chest comes over the hands, and then opening to look forward, elbows nice and soft, and then pressing back through hands and knees, and buttocks all the way to heels. And we're going to come back to our hands and knees again to do our knee lifts, if you like, to the other side. So pressing firmly into the hands, rounding through the back, scooping the belly in, chin towards the chest a little, and left elbow to left knee, and return. So keeping this lift, this engagement with the front of the body as we draw the left knee to the elbow and return. One more of knee to elbow, and then if you want to, you can do foot to hand or toes to wrists as you prefer. Really scooping the belly in, strong with the arms. I can't remember how many we did on the other side, so one more, and releasing. And then this time, we're going to relax into the pose of a child just for a moment. So taking the knees wide, perhaps if that suits you, reaching the hands forward if you like, forehead to the floor, or the child's pose of your choice. When I'm doing lots of wrist work, I like to turn the palms of the hands upwards. In child's pose, that gives a little different kind of stretch across the shoulders, different kind of opportunity for space, and it also rests the wrists quite nicely. Lets the palms of the hands lose some of their heat that they've built up. Take a couple of deep breaths, really softening the face, the chest, the abdominal muscles, relaxing in your jaw. And when you're ready, you can pad your hands back towards you. Just close the knees a little, and we'll bring the palms together, interlace the hands, interlace the fingers, and roll the wrists. So figure of eights with the wrists, the elbows and forearms stay close to the body, or upper arms stay close to the body, forearms stay close together, and rolling the opposite way. If you have a different wrist release that you like, you can try it. I'll show you another few in the course of this class anyway. Okay, then we're going to come back to our hands and knees and do we're going to do a three-legged cat-cow or a tiger pose as you might know them. So knees are together, hands wherever is comfortable for your wrists. I prefer them not quite directly underneath my shoulders. And then firm in the belly, lengthening through the crown of the head, lifting the heel of the right foot up as you look forward, opening the chest, and then drawing the knee under the chest as you round through the spine. Lift the heel towards the buttocks at the same time. Inhaling forward, lifting the heel behind you. Exhaling, rounding through the spine. Inhaling and exhaling. And then here, lengthening your right leg behind you, we're going to draw the right toes towards the right hand on the floor, and then draw the right toes behind the body to the left. If you like, you can look. So as your right toes come towards your right hand, you can look in that direction. And as your toes come behind your body, you can look in that direction. We'll do one more like this. Try not to collapse in the shoulders or the chest, and return to the center. So the right leg is behind us, and you can do that variation again if that suits you, or you can lift the right leg up long and straight, looking forward, pressing the mat away from you to keep the chest lifted, and draw your right toes through the air towards your hands, and then take them up and over through the air to behind you. Nice big rainbow action with the right leg, still firm in the belly, and helping to keep the chest open, you can press your hands apart from each other. Next time your foot comes forward to your right hand, we're going to leave it there and then make circles with the hips. Little circling of the hips, very nice. So the right foot is wider than the right hand, wider than the right shoulder, and the opposite way as well. And here, if your wrists are sensitive, you might want to turn your hands to their fist variation. So the backs of the fingers on the floor instead of the palms of the hands. And then in the center here, we're going to stretch the right foot out to the side again, firm the hands down, lift all the way up and over. And when the right foot comes behind us, pivot on the left knee. Make sure the left hand is underneath the left shoulder, rolling to the side and opening into another baby wild thing. Here, with the good, strong effort of the left shin down and the left hand, we're circling the right arm. Maybe one more. And then stepping your right foot onto the mat so that your toes are pointing back towards the short side of your mat. Taking the effort into your right foot and your left hand, step your left foot next to it so that you can do a baby rock star. Reaching the right arm over and then dropping the hips down and then pressing all the way up and dropping down. We'll do one more, really lifting with the back of the body and then sitting all the way down, sitting the left leg in front of the right leg in your cross-leg position. Allow your whole body to absorb the information you've given it. Close the eyes if it feels comfortable. Relax the shoulders, the jaw, the face, the abdominal muscles. And breathe deeply. To release the wrists before we work again, bring the backs of the hands together and just roll through the wrists. Like this. It's really a beautiful movement. And the opposite way as well. And it just really helps to relax any tension from the wrists. And we're bipeds, you know, we're not really supposed to weight bear for a great deal of time on our hands or on all fours, but we can because we're adaptable and we've evolved from people who could. So we're adaptable, but we need to take time to build up our tolerance for such things. So if you find your wrists are really sensitive, then just step away from that kind of work for a few days and come back to it. So you can either step your feet apart or with your left leg crossed in front of your right, arms wide and open as if you were carrying a big beach ball and making circles with the upper body. Oh, with the whole of the torso really. Circling around the sit bones, allowing your head to be nice and relaxed as you do, or your neck rather, and the opposite way as well. A little firmness in the belly to help. And coming back to the center. We're going to extend this time the left leg out to the left for our figure of 8, arms wide, turning the back of the right hand and sweeping the right hand towards the left leg. Doesn't matter how bent your knee is. Reaching up and over, placing that right hand behind you, lifting the hips and reaching the left arm up and over. Releasing down. Let's do that 2 more times. Figure of 8s with the arms. Little baby wild thing at the end of the movement. This time we're going to hold that baby wild thing and just feel the right shin, right foot, right buttock, right arm and shoulder working to lift and then gently releasing down. We're folding in the left hand, turning to the right and uncurling ourselves into that little squat. And this time we're going to keep our knees down and take the hands a little bit further forward for some walking tigers. So the knees are floating away from the floor. You can either just lift one foot, the other foot, one hand, the other hand, or you can lift opposite hands and feet if that feels comfortable. Trying to keep our backs down, or hips down rather, so backs nice and long and belly muscles engaged. And then when you're ready, floating the knees to the floor, you're going to take the feet wide, the knees wide, sorry, the hands wide, and make circles with the hips around the knees. And the opposite way as well. And then here in the center, we're going to do a full waving vinyasa, but if you want to, you can do a baby one. Keep your knees down. If you're doing a full one, reach your hands out in front of you, come up into a downward facing dog, just stepping a little bit through your down dog to soften and release any tension. And then when you're ready, hips towards the heels, look back towards your feet, press off the toes, scoop the belly in, round through the spine, open the chest as the chest comes over the hands, drawing the elbows back, maybe a little sway from side to side in your up dog variation, and soften the elbows back through plank into downward facing dog. 2 more times. Let's drop the hips to the heels, press through the feet, round through the spine, lifting in the belly muscles, opening the chest. This time, if you want to, you can go back with bent knees. So pressing low to come up into downward facing dog. Doesn't matter which one you do. 1 more. Rounding through the spine. A bit of both is always good. Opening the chest. This time, maybe a little twist from side to side with the upper body. And then doing the variation of your choice to come back to your downward facing dog. Take a few moments there. Float the knees down, knees wide, toes together. Coming into not up dog, child's pose, turning the palms upwards if you would like to. Take a couple of deep breaths. Softening the jaw. And then when you're ready, you can come up into hands and knees again, or you can take this moment to release your wrists if you prefer. So here in our center, we're going to bring the knees together and do our variations, our 3-legged hands and knees variations with the left leg. So lifting your left heel up, look forward, lifting your chest, pressing the mat away from you, a little softness in the elbows, and then exhaling as you round underneath the body, chin to chest, nose to knee, heel to buttock. Inhaling forward. And exhaling as you round. Inhaling forward. Exhaling as you round. Inhale, straighten the leg out behind you. And just holding here as you exhale. Then inhale, slide that left toe towards the left hand. And exhale, slide the toe behind the body to the right. Inhaling, left foot to the left hand, or in that direction. Exhaling, sliding around. Inhaling and exhaling. And then if you want to, with the leg up, looking forward, pressing the mat away from you, hands apart, or pressing apart, drawing the left toes towards the left hand, then up and over to the right side. Up and over. You can still do it on the floor, of course. Up and over. Try not to collapse your chest. Up and over. I can't remember how many we did. I'm sure we're aiming for 3. But on the 4th one, in this case, we're going to leave the left foot by the left hand. Just draw it towards that side of the mat and circle the hips. Just a little bit. And of course, you can choose fists for your hands here and go in the opposite direction. I find that when I circle one way, I'm focusing on the front hip. When I circle the other way, focus on the back hip. Doesn't matter which, of course. From here, we're going to firm the hands down into the mat again, lengthen the left leg up and over, and as it goes to the Right side, just twisting on that right knee, making sure the right hand is underneath the right shoulder, taking the left arm up, and then making nice big circles with the left arm, opening that side of the body, pressing down with the right shin, the right foot, the right hand, so you create lift underneath the body. After 3 circles, bending your left foot in, no, yes, and placing it on the floor, then taking weight into the right hand and the left foot to step the right foot through, so you're in a little baby rock star, reaching up and over, and dropping the hips towards the heels, pressing through the back of the body to lift, and release. One more, really lifting in the sit bones, no, in the buttocks, and then releasing all the way down, coming into your cross leg position, right leg in front of the left. Taking a couple of deep breaths. Just allow your body to absorb that information. Become aware of parts of the body that are feeling effort. Try to release it. Try to notice any patterns of holding or a gripping tension. So we want to avoid that sort of sensation of gripping. We want a cohesive support rather than a holding that causes our muscles to shake. And then when you're ready, you can roll your wrists again a little bit if you'd like to. I've got less going on with the wrists in this round. So this time you can do your seated wibble wobbles if you want to, or you can do a toddler wobble. So you can release your legs. You can do this with just the legs. So leaning back onto the hands and just moving your legs in any direction that feels good. And it's quite nice and strengthening. Or we've done already just the arms. So you can put the arms and the legs together. You can rock from one buttock to the other, or you can just simply do your beach ball circles if you prefer. So just firing up those muscles that support us, letting just like a baby wobbles, letting them support us as they naturally can. And then when you're ready, you can gather yourself up into your cross-leg position again. Right leg is in front of the left. We're going to turn to the left, place the left hand down, uncurl ourselves into this nice deep squat, and then reach the hands forward and come up into downward facing dog. Pivoting on the toes as you uncurl the legs, a little bit of action in your dog. So you can do anything in your down dog that feels good. You can paddle the shoulders, you can paddle the heels, you can soften both knees and paddle the hips. Or one of the ones I like is letting the heels come down to one side and just bending and stretching a little bit the legs. And you can do the same thing on the other side. Little sort of squat and release. That's really nice. Coming back to the center, we're going to do a three leg variation. So bring the feet together, lift your right leg up, and then bend the left knee and just get a little bit bouncy on that left knee and on the right leg, I guess. And then when you're ready, you can step your right foot forward between your hands and drop your left knee down. And so here we've got an opportunity to just flirt a little bit with our hamstrings by going backwards and forwards. You can keep your toes down at the front, or you can lift the toes up, whichever feels good to you. If you want to get into the parts other stretchers don't get to, as you bring your hips back, just gently give your hips a wiggle from side to side, and you'll feel that accessing different parts. And coming forward again. Then with the hands down, or the fists down if you prefer, just taking the back knee a little off the mat and lengthening through that back leg a little, and then bringing that back knee towards the floor but not touching. So a little elastic lunge. And feeling what needs to be active to support this as a movement as well. Then when you're ready, you can bring both knees down. We're going to press the feet apart so we can come up into an upright lunge. I'm going to give you 4 shapes we're going to put together in a little flow here. It's going to be awesome. So we want to make sure that the knee and the foot aren't too far apart, because otherwise it's not so stable. So if you want to bring your right foot back towards you, you can. I like mine just a little bit further away, but you don't want to be so open that you're not so stable. And then here, use a little padding under your back knee if you need to, of course. Keep the back toe tucked under, because you need that support from the sole of the foot as well. We're going to take our arms wide, open the chests. There may be multiple chests. And here, just taking the left elbow across the body towards the right knee, and perhaps a little fold here. We're going to flirt with it this time, so we're just coming this far this time. And then coming up and back, we're going to open the right arm over, take the left hand behind the body to support the low back as we reach backwards, and then reach both hands forwards. We're going to settle ourselves, our hips back towards the heel to stretch through that hamstring a little, and then move forward into a more open lunge. Don't worry about this front knee. And then come back to the center, press the feet apart to bring ourselves upright to start again. So those are the 4 general shapes, but as we move through this, you might like to do more of a twist. So you might bring your left elbow across, you might press your left arm into your right leg to do more of a twist, or even bring the palms together to do a prayer twist here. And then as you release from this shape and move backwards, you might like to reach your left hand down towards your heel and open the right arm over into a sort of half camel pose. We need to really firm the belly to bring us up, and then settle down. You can do anything you like in this hamstring stretch. And if you want to, you can move your foot a lot further forward to do a little bit more in your front stretch, your lunge stretch, but bringing the foot back to bring us back to center. So let's try 3 more of these, exploring your way around these 4 shapes. So elbows wide, chest open, firm in the belly and the buttocks, just twisting across the body, coming into any twist that feels good to you, and then releasing, taking the arms up and over, support the low back if you don't want to come into a full half camel, and then cartwheeling through the arms, always firm in the belly, settling the hips down, maybe the toes are down this time. And then if you want to, you can step your foot wide, do a more of a lizard lunge. Bring your foot back to the center, firm in the belly, firm in the feet, come up. Keep that recruitment of strength as you move through your shapes. Always feeling where support is. Maybe you want to occasionally lengthen that back leg in your lunge. We'll do 1 more round through our 4 shapes. And then when you're ready, you can take your hands to the floor and step your feet back into downward facing dog. And take a moment in your downward facing dog just to paddle out to release any tension. Maybe do a little twisting of the upper body, looking from side to side. And then we're going to drop the knees to the floor and just turn ourselves back around left foot in front of right foot. So we're sitting again in our cross-legged position. Take a moment here. Allow yourself to absorb the effect of the work. And then you can reach the arms up if you'd like to. You can do a little circling with your beach ball, or you can free your legs and do a toddler wobble, or you can take your hands down and just do your legs of a toddler wobble, whatever feels good here. And try to, if you're doing a full toddler wobble, try to throw some different shapes. Feeling that inner strength, that core. When you're ready, you can gather yourself up. Returning to the right, placing the right hand behind us, uncurling ourselves, taking a little bit of a squat this time. And then reaching the hands forward to come up into a downward facing dog. Paddle through your down dog. And then feet together, lifting the left leg up, yes, and soften the knee to just gently bounce on that right knee to feel the support in the left buttock, the right leg. And then when you're ready, stepping your left foot forward to your hands, letting your back knee come to the mat. Doing that little flirtation with the hamstring to begin with, just forwards and backwards. We wouldn't want to come into our four shapes without preparing. And you can keep the toes down sometimes and toes up other times. And when you want to, if you want to, you can stop and just wiggle the hips from side to side in your backward position or reverse position. I don't know. There we are. And then when you're ready, you can just float the back knee off the floor. And then press the back leg a little straighter. We might come through straight, but we don't want to hold it straight. And then knee to the mat again, or towards the mat, sorry. So floating the knee up and down, elastic lunge, feeling what needs to work, feeling where the support is. And then when you're ready, just making sure that your left foot is not too far forward. Press the feet away from each other to bring yourself up into standing upright in a lunge for our four shapes. So remembering that we need to sort of feel that sense of containing support. So we're firming in the belly, we're firming in the buttocks, wherever else feels supported to you, maybe the space between the shoulder blades, taking the arms wide. And we're taking the right elbow, towards the left knee, maybe just making a small shape this first round. And then maybe take the right hand behind the back, reach the left arm over, just supporting. This is a variation if you want to use it, if you don't want to reach for your back leg anyway. And then reaching both hands forward, coming into that little light flirtation with the hamstring. And then reaching yourself into a deeper lunge, maybe releasing a little bit on this right hip flexor. Coming back to the center, making sure you feel nice and supported. Firmness in the belly. We'll do 3 more of these. So reaching the right arm across, making any variation of a twist that you want to. Reaching with the arms as you transition into a half camel if you want to, any of the other variations that you may know. And then cartwheeling the hands forward, lengthening through that left leg. And then if you want to, you can move your left foot forward to do a little bit more of a lunge if that feels good to you. But we're not holding any of the positions for any length of time. We don't want to dump into any joints. So 2 more. Crossing the right elbow or the right arm across the body to make your standing twist. Cartwheeling the arms firm in the belly and the buttocks. Flowing into a camel variation. Bringing the hands forward. Floating the hips back, maybe lengthening through that leg, and then transitioning into a lunge of some kind. You might want to do a lizard lunge with your leg a little, left foot turned out or left foot out to the side, and come back to the center. One more time around. Elbows wide. Right elbow to the left knee or in that general direction. Firm in the feet and the buttocks as you transition. Firm in the belly as you support here. And come into your little light flotation with the hamstring. And a little light lunge. Brilliant stuff. And then from here, we're going to take the right hand out to the right side. On the opposite side, we went into a downward dog. We will do that here eventually, but right hand out to the right side, left foot supports as well. And we just step the right foot through. So we come into sitting upright, Paschimottanasana style, but with the feet really far apart. And a little softness in the knees. And we're going to do octopus. So rolling the knees together and apart, circling the ankles, flowing in the spine and the arms if you want to. If you want to do just the legs, that's okay. If you want to recruit the whole body into the movement, you can. And reversing to go the opposite way. I always find that quite toughy. It's quite the transition. And then whenever you're ready, just settling into a forward bend of some kind. So you can have your knees as bent as feels comfortable. You don't have to reach to get anywhere in particular. If you want to reach for your toes, you can. Try to keep your elbows bent wherever you are, because you can draw the shoulder blades down the back that way. And come into, so that you avoid collapsing in the upper back. A little firmness in the belly here, perhaps a little firmness of the legs into the floor, but you don't need to over flex your feet. Deep breath in, deep breath out, and then hands back to help support the body to come upright. We're going to reach the left hand behind us and roll onto our tummies. If you want to, you can shift yourself back onto your mat so that you have your forehead balanced on your hands. Toes towards each other, heels apart, legs wide enough so the toes aren't touching. A little wiggle of the hips from side to side. A couple of deep breaths here. Softening any effort, any tension, relaxing the jaw, the face. Let the belly muscles be really relaxed here so that you can feel that expansion of the low back as you breathe in, and that softening of the effort there as you breathe out. And then bringing the legs towards each other, hands wide from the body, forehead on the floor. Press the pubic bone down, the tops of the feet down, feel the buttocks engaging, draw the shoulder blades towards each other, and then lifting the chest up so you come into a cobra pose. The elbows are still bent here, and releasing down. Let's do 4 more of those. Inhaling up. Firm in the belly and the back of the body, exhaling down. Inhaling up, firming the legs into the floor, exhaling down. Inhaling up, opening the neck if the chest allows, and exhaling down. And then this time, coming up and making hula hoops in your cobra pose. So just hooping around. Going in the opposite direction as well. And then releasing all the way down. Pillow out of the hands, toes towards each other, heels apart. A couple of deep breaths. Relax your face, your jaw. Relax that space between the shoulder blades. And then from here, we're going to take the hands underneath the shoulders or underneath the chest, bend the knees, come up to hands and knees, and peel yourself all the way up into downward facing dog. Make any movements in down dog that feel good. And then when you're ready from here, maybe just taking a moment to turn the head from side to side. From here, coming down into hands and knees, or sorry, down onto your knees, and then swinging your feet forward. We're going to relax all the way down onto the back again. Feels good now, huh? So we're relaxing the arms wide. You just start by getting comfortable here. Relaxing any tension from the face, the jaw. And then we're going to lift the right leg and place the right foot over the left knee. And then draw the left knee back towards us. And do a little bit of a shimmer from side to side. So you can use your arms here, but you've been developing the strength through the supporting muscles of the abdomen all class, so why not let them do their job that you've been recruiting them for. So once you've done a bit of swaying, you can do a little circling and feeling what's going on in this right hip as well. Circle in both directions. And massaging out the low back as well. And then your left foot comes to the floor. A little firmness in your belly, let the left knee go to the left, the right leg follow. If it feels comfortable, you can lift your right arm up alongside your ear. Now, if you come into this twist and you don't really feel any sensation and you'd like to feel more, you can either bring your left knee towards your left shoulder or left arm, or you can let your left knee go down towards the end of your mat, the opposite end of your mat. So sometimes just where we fall is not going to do anything for us, and sometimes it does. And if you don't want the sensation to be too intense, you want it to be just that sense of being able to release, to create length, to let go, to create space, but also soften the shoulders, the face, and the breath. When you're ready to move, firming the belly muscles, relaxing the right arm back to the center, bringing the knees back to the center, uncrossing the legs. A little sway of the knees from side to side. And then we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. So left foot crossed over right thigh, or left ankle over right thigh, bringing the right knee towards us and swaying the right knee from side to side. Relaxing the upper body, the shoulders, the head, and then making circles with your right knee. And in the opposite direction as well. Just feeling that left hip and buttock area, what's happening there. And from here, we're going to float the right foot to the floor. Let the right knee fall to the right, the left leg to follow. When the left foot reaches the floor, or if it doesn't, that's okay. Reaching the left arm up the left side of the ear, if that feels better, if it feels more open, it helps to improve the sensation for you. And my legs fall exactly where I need them to on this side, but if yours don't, you can bring your right knee back towards your right shoulder or move it down towards the feet end of the mat until you feel the sensation that feels good for you. Wherever you get to, just softening the effort in the upper body, the face, the chest, the jaw. Swallow if you need to relax your tongue. Take a couple of deep breaths. then relax your left arm, prepare to move, engage your belly muscles, bring your knees back to the center, and across the legs. You can do happy baby pose here, it's quite a nice thing to do. So drawing the knees to the outside of the torso, reaching for the feet or for the backs of the shins to help the knees come down either side of the body. The feet are as if you were standing on a seat on the ceiling above you, so parallel to the ceiling, not back behind you, not too far forward over, just straight up towards the ceiling. And then if you're comfortable holding, you can hold the outside edge of your feet. Try to relax that space at the back of the neck and the shoulders. And if you're comfortable holding the outside edge and you want to try holding the inside edge, you can. Wherever you get to, take a couple of deep breaths. Relax the face. The reason why I keep saying that is because we hold tension in our faces that indicates tension elsewhere in the body. So if you can relax your face, often you can let go of another holding pattern elsewhere. And then when you're ready, just releasing the feet, bringing the knees together, doing a little circling of the knees, massaging out that space in the low back, and maybe the opposite way as well. Now we've done quite a lot with the abdominal muscles and the hip flexors as well. So a nice thing to do is that spinal twist we did at the beginning of the class, feet wide, arms wide, knees come down to the left side. And then here we're trying to feel the space across the right side of the pelvis. So if you can encourage your right inner thigh and your right inner foot towards the floor, and if you've got room or space, you can rest the left knee on top, and that really opens up that space all across that hip, softening the right shoulder to the floor, reaching the right arm up over the head if you'd like to, for a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Maybe one more breath in and out. When you're ready to move, you can uncross the legs, bring the right arm back to a neutral point, firm in the belly to bring the knees back to the center, a little sway perhaps, and then knees over to the opposite side, encouraging the left inner thigh, left foot towards the floor. And if you've got the space, or if you need the additional thing, the left on top of the right foot, sorry, on top of the left, reaching arm up and feeling that open space across the pelvis on the left side. A couple of deep breaths here, softening, relaxing, releasing. When you're ready to, you can uncross the legs. Draw the left arm back down, the left knees back to the center, a little sway, bending the knees into the chest for another stir or two. You can do the knees going in different directions if that feels comfortable. And then when you're ready, just taking a relaxation. So you might want to support the space underneath the knees, or you might want to do legs up the wall if that suits you for relaxation, or you can do Shavasana. Whatever position you choose, making yourself warm and comfortable. Letting go of all of the effort that has been in your practice through this class. Settling your body into a comfy spot. Palms turned upwards settles the shoulders, feet falling apart, toes falling outwards, settles the hips. Take a few deep breaths, sighing out through your mouth. As you do, begin to relax your muscles. A couple more like that, releasing the effort that you've made in the class. Surrendering your body down into the floor. Allow your breath to fall into its natural rhythm and fall away into silence. Allow the whole body to feel heavy, warm, supported, and releasing down. Remain in your relaxation posture for as long as you can, up to 15 minutes. And I'll see you for another practice, another time. Namaste.